Emerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa, it should always not be taken for granted. And I must underscore, it should not be taken for granted. Remember, we are coming out of a situation and a scenario where the Mnangagwa faction began to push for the 2030 term extension. It started as if it was a folk tale. It started as a joke, but it ended up actually being a reality. And we've seen them, although they were bitter celebrating this victory. I specifically say so because they know that they stole away from the people, and the people are bound to respond, and people understand this. And what the Mnangagwa faction went on to do, they went a step further in terms of provoking retired General Chiwenga as well as other retired military generals and ex-combatants in Zimbabwe, because now they were celebrating Constitutional Amendment Act 3 of 2026, as they were celebrating the province that was critical in terms of pushing 2030 term extension. That is Harare province. It has upgraded. Now it is pushing for 2037. And don't ever think this was said by a non-entity in the Harare province. It was said by the chairperson of the Harare province. When the chairperson stands up and makes remarks, understand that this is serious, because it's not just, if it was maybe members chanting, someone would say no, they would have been organized. But it's a chairperson leading the entire structure of the Harare province. Let's hear him speaking alongside with Gudawashe Takure. Takure was just watching him, the man speaking.
Now 7 years after, from 2030 to 2037, he must lead the party. And who else can do better? It is only our president, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. Remember also, he is the most senior surviving.
Okay, so you hear, the words are provocative. Now we've got retired generals led by Air Marshal Mchena. We've got retired General Chiwenga on numerous occasions at high levels of ZANU-PF fighting against Constitutional Amendment Act. By then it was a bill, and what transpired? They decided not to take heed to them. Now from the faction of Chiwenga, there is deafening silence. We've not heard anything from Knox Chivero. Knox Chivero and other retired generals that are busy giving us information on social media. They are part of a faction of retired General Chiwenga. I think over the past 2 or so weeks, they've given Emerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa the playground. And to me, it gives me the vibes of saying, okay, let's give him the rope to hang himself. And they appear to be hanging themselves. They are not even taking heed that the situation at the moment is highly tense. In fact, I have the video of Goodwill's Masimire, but let's listen to him as this.
He must lead the party. That is what Harare is saying.
Given the fact that it is a bill that started as a resolution of the party.
Well, it is of fundamental importance to the development of this country, because now constitutionally the president will remain in office as president, a commander-in-chief, a head of government until 2030. He will also then be able to complete Vision 2030. But for us as Harare province, we look at a continuum that beyond 2030, what happens? The president has done exceedingly well for this country. We have had have lived his mantra. The country is built by its people. It is prayed for by its people. We are saying what happens to him. The people are saying what happens to him beyond 2030. So the people of Harare, as we go into resolutions for the next conference in Bindura, are saying His Excellency should remain the party president and secretary of ZANU-PF at the 2030 Congress, so that he continues to guide the party and government in carrying forward with Vision 2030, in carrying forward with the mantra that nyika inovakwa igona matigwa igotongwa nevene vayo, with the mantra a friend to all, an enemy to none. No place is going to be left behind. That mantra, that doctrine, that philosophy must be strengthened further into the minds and hearts of the people of Zimbabwe. And who else can do better? It is only our president, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. Remember also, he is the most senior member of the Chiwenga, the revolution that brought this country to independence.
I think they should have taken Mike from this
man. For an additional 7 years after, from 2030 to 2037, he must lead the party. That is what Harare is saying as the president and first secretary. So beyond what we are celebrating today, we need that visionary. We need the man with wisdom. We need that strategist. Where we got, despite being under sanctions, 182 countries out of 190 voted for Zimbabwe to be a non-permanent member of the Security Council. So you must ask yourself, where did the sanctions come from? If all these countries of the United Nations are saying Zimbabwe is worthy of being a member of the Security Council or of the United Nations as a non-permanent member, you also see that His Excellency successfully became the chairman of SADC. He is going to be the chairman of COMESA. Even when you look at peer review, you had the vice president of Uganda was in the country recently. It's all praises. Everyone wants to be near the president, to tap into his wisdom. We had our neighbors, the king of the kingdom of the Zulu, Mr. Zulu, he was here, another king, to talk about unity, peace and development. You heard what Ziyambi did in parliament under the guidance of His Excellency, that Zimbabwe will not do tit for tat to xenophobia. Instead, it is appealing to the whole of Africa, all the children of Africa, to be united, to live together in peace. So that is the man we want to continue to lead ZANU-PF beyond 2030 as its president. And
so, I think I'm playing this. I had to play it up to the end because it makes those who have been following this channel. I gave you an option that if Emmerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is allowed, in fact, to go on with his plan, it is not ending in 2030. They are going to make fresh demands. And already we have got ZANU-PF conference. Now we are the Harare province. They have launched a 2037 mantra that they are going to start. They are saying they are going to take this to the conference. That Emmerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, they claim he has done a lot of good, and as such he should continue leading Zimbabwe up to 2037, and they cannot locate this goodness. So goodness is the fact that Zimbabwe was voted into the security, as if they are going to have influence by being part of the Security Council. Even under Robert Gabriel Mugabe, Zimbabwe was once voted to be part of Security Council. It's just a useless position. But in Mnangagwa, because he is doing nothing at home, anything that happens outside. You remember when he became on rotational basis, it was supposed to be Zimbabwe. When he chaired SADC, it made big news in Zimbabwe. When ZANU PF members, Gullible ZANU PF members, were told that now Mnangagwa is the president of the whole of SADC. It was unbelievable. We were told that now Mnangagwa would be the president of the whole of Africa. So it's the madness. That's what I'm laughing at. That, sometimes when we're analyzing it, telling people that, what, if he is allowed with 2030, he has been allowed. Now, he will never get enough. Don't think what is spoken by Goodwill's Masumiriamba is speaking it on his own. And he has quoted, if you recently heard me speaking about this Ziambi when he was saying Zimbabwe will not go tit for tat, telling you that that question which was asked in the parliament by a ZANU PF member of parliament, it's something that was actually rehearsed. That is why he was allowed to speak in a manner he spoke, and also the response of Ziambi. It's something that he was told when he asked a question, respond in such a manner, and you can hear they are actually glorifying that. It's meant, the purpose of this, it's meant to glorify Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. So we are just still fighting against 2030. The man wants now 2037. And this is what Blessed Geza told Zimbabweans, that you should stand up against Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa and help us remove this man. Because this man, he is speaking of 2030. He won't get enough. Afterwards, he will create his own kingdom. So what we may see, he has gotten away with 2030 at the moment. But the question of the day is, will he be allowed? I think let me, for this live broadcast, because I was not focusing on that, let me not say it. But I think I will do the other second live broadcast. You will hear me unpacking that. So now there is 2031, 37. They are saying Harare province is saying it's going to formulate part of the resolutions. So we are bound to see other provinces following suit. It started, I think, in Midlands last time. We had Maswingo it started in Midlands by youths. Maswingo started, Harare followed, and it was now a national thing until Bulawayo also was embraced into this madness of saying Mnangagwa should be the president up to 2030. Blessed Geza delayed his program with 1 year, and he had to actually, through an unelectable Ziambi, try to push for this program, obviously working with controversial figures in the Zimbabwean politics, such as Professor Jonathan Moyo. He has gotten his 20, but I must attest to you that as much as 2030 is there, individuals like Professor Jonathan Moyo were promised to be rewarded. Is he in Zimbabwe? He knows that it's not yet over. It would be over if they deal with all the generals, not only Chiwenga, but all the generals. And still the generals have not said we embrace 2030. They have not said that. In fact, they came and said we will never be bullied. We won't actually fear. We will not flinch. That is what retired Air Marshal Mchena said. And that statement on its own should tell you something. They are shaking that they are 31st of July protests that are organized. It's headless. Even myself, I'm supporting them. I'm saying Zimbabweans on the 31st, let's unite. Let's carry out this leaderless protest throughout the country so that these fools will chase wind You know, when they see people protesting, the people, when they hear, they will be just chasing wind. They don't know who to arrest to try and stop the momentum. So it will be quite difficult. Let's push this leaderless protest. It's very, very effective. Even if they are leaders, then you surface when the deal is done. And there is a lot of panicking. Individuals such as Goodwill's Masimiro, they always get excited. It's not the time to be this excited. He's endangering his life. And by the way, he has been touched. And he wants, I think, also to be revisited. A lot, I strongly believe, is happening behind the scenes to try and stop or counter this madness. But it's going to take some time because we are dealing with a serious conman this time around. It's not just an ordinary man, but an extraordinary man that Zimbabweans have to deal with. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Is saying off. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the